for honoring. We really appreciate the time that you took to join this session. So my name is Mujapilu Lisiwa Simon. I am the Imaging Librarian of the Year Award winner 2023 and 2024. So we are conducting this workshop so that we can capacitate our fellow librarians in the field so that we don't leave anyone behind. So we are for embracing technology in our libraries. I know some of us are struggling with technology, but our main focus is the Nevada. We are embracing technology, the use of technology in our libraries. So today we have invited you to come and join this seminar where we are optimizing Nevada LMS, the insight into acquisition and copyright modules. So we are going to have our speaker who will be deliberating on this topic. So I welcome you and feel free to participate in this session. Please make sure that you remain muted throughout the session because we're going to have the question and answer session at the end of the presentation. So you are welcomed in this session. So if you are having burning questions, you can write them in the chat box. Then we're gonna read them all aloud so that we are going to give our speaker the time to respond to all the questions. So the main topic. So we are going to, I'm going to hand it over to Lola Diantaina, who will take us through to this session. Lola, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good morning, Simon and colleagues. Thank you all for joining us today. I'll just quickly show my face here. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Simon, and yes, just for the putting this together for us. I'm just going to stop my video so to make sure that the connection stays stable throughout today's talk. So again, thank you, Simon, and for everyone joining us today. We're very excited to have this talk focusing on insights into acquisitions and copyright module in celebration of last week's Copyright World Day. So welcome all library enthusiasts. Today we will be exploring Nevada acquisitions and copyright module, and we will look at all their traits such as customizations, integrations, and legal compliance. Just for some housekeeping, we will run through a couple of slides, then I will do a quick live demo. And as Simon mentioned, we will have that Q&A session at the end. So make notes of your questions or drop that in the chat for us. Right, so let's start. For those of you that might be new to Nevada LMS, we are a platform that has been designed to assist libraries in acquiring all titles through a customizable multi-vendor audit trail acquisition system. We offer tailored modules and solutions to accommodate the diverse structures and workflows of various libraries and institutions. The solutions which we offer include Nevada Discovery, which is the core and search engine of the platform, which holds all the metadatabase. And then we also have the acquisitions module, a online exhibitions module, a prescribed textbook management module, and the copyright module. Today, we will only be focusing on two of our modules, the acquisitions and copyright module. In essence, the acquisitions module streamlines book order requests from librarians to suppliers. We achieve this by integrating with APIs so that the process can be as automated as possible, and this just in turn will support the library. The copyright module simplifies copyright applications, reducing time and expenses by directly interfacing and linking with Dilro. In the Nevada system, a selector librarian will source a title from the Nevada Discovery database. They then proceed to add it to one of their lists, and from there, they will be able to send the request through to the acquisitions department for approval or to complete a copyright application for a book. Let's quickly jump into a live demo to see the application form used for acquisitions. So I'm quickly just going to share my screen here. There we go. So we will start with Nevada Discovery. So quickly, just to get an example for you, if we say we want to find a book that is in English, but we want it for the subject of, say, accounting, for instance, and we want to put the binding format as hardback and paperback. So it's a very simple search. I'm not getting very fancy with any facets, but we're doing the search just to explore and find a particular title. Oops, sorry, I don't know what happened there. Let me just do that again. I think it timed out because I was on it for a while. Let's do it again. So we said accounting, and then we'll just say hardback and paperback and do a search. There we go. All right, so here we can see the amount of records that pulled through, and we can basically just browse here, see any title that really appeals. Maybe we just take this one. So as a selector, you say, right, this seems something that you want to order. You have all the information down here that you can explore, and then you will proceed to add it to one of your lists. So I'm adding it here to my default list, which is basically just my wish list as a selector. I will go and open that list, and then we should find that title. Yes, for accounting, it is up here. So what we can do is we can, as I mentioned in my slides, there is the prescribed book order request that you can create. You can create a copyright application, or you can send it to the acquisitions department. So let's first focus on an acquisitions request. So once we click on that button, we see here the bibliographic information for the title. You can also see or select which is your preferred format for the title. Go further to put in the relevant department, the campus that you'd like to link the title to or make the request for. And then down here, you have the option to select which fund you'd like to link this request to. So the fund is linked, of course, to the department and the campus. So that will, be linked to that. This is currently just a demo profile, so it's not showing us a lot of options, but your funds are basically your budgets. You'll put in your quantities here needed, and it will pull through to this bottom section. And then here we see the price. You can also add here additional information for your approver. For instance, if you want to put something in the source or a specific reason for placing the order, if you have any additional notes that you'd like to add, or you can put in your freehand note here. There's even the option to upload a document, so this can be quite handy. For instance, if this title has been discussed over an email trail, for instance, you can download that email into a PDF and upload it just so that it is linked to the request and there is a bit of context. But once you've basically put in the required fields, you can submit that request, and that is then sent through to the acquisitions department, where of course the approver will have to, go through and approve the request. So just to give you a bit of a sneak peek what that looks like. So I just quickly want to see here, we should get an info tag saying that, the request has been sent through, so that is there. And then if we go here into the acquisitions view, we can actually see the request that has been sent through. So here we see that title that has been put through. You'll see the price, the date, and the time. So all this information is captured and put into reports or can be used in your audit trail. So I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because I have prepared the slides, but this just gives you some view and perhaps insight into what processes can run in Nevada for your acquisitions. Right, so I'm just quickly going to jump back to my presentation. Let's go there. All right. Great. So in summary, the acquisition process is as follows. As I mentioned, the lecturer or selector librarian will search for the title on Nevada Discovery. They will add the book to their personalized list. They will select to add the title to the acquisitions department by completing that request form. And then once the form has been completed, the acquisitions manager receives it to approve or deny the request. It can even also be put on hold if the institution chooses to use that function. And then once the title has been approved, the request is captured to the library central list via an API. And the request is then sent through to the vendor for the final ordering of the title. Now let's learn about customizable processes, fund allocation, and audit trail reporting. There are various ways in which you can set up user access, permissions, and define areas of responsibility within the system when customizing user profiles. You have the ability to customize acquisitions workflow processes as well. And this can be to fit the specific needs or the structure of your organizational processes. So within this, you can define levels of approval in your library, meaning that you can set the sequence of departments that a request has to be processed by before the title is ordered from your desired vendor. By setting up budgets, you can generate reports when a acquisitions request is made and make allocations to a particular fund or budget code. You can also go further to configure budgets to generate automatic reports as well. Next, you can extract audit trail reports for your financial year, providing a transparent record of all acquisitions activities. This ensures that reports are readily available for auditors, streamlining the auditing processes and ensuring compliance. There are various interactive reports and statistics available in Nevada LMS. This information is extracted from all areas within the library's workflow, which can assist you to have an overview of your library structure and identify areas that could possibly improve as well. Now to dive into the DALRO integration that takes place for efficient copyright applications. Let's have a look. So in South Africa, DALRO grants and governs copyright users permissions to copyright protected work while ensuring that copyright holders are remunerated by copyright users reproducing their works. So just for your information, DALRO stands for the Dramatic, Artistic, and Literary Rights Organization. There are two types of licenses available through DALRO. We have a blanket license and a transactional license to choose from. A blanket license gives the copyright user permission to use work in DALRO's repertoire by the terms of the licensing agreement. Therefore, a copyright user does not need to apply each time before using the work. This is ideal usually for institutions with many people where reproduction is a regular part of their daily activities. However, the transactional license gives the copyright user permission to use materials on a work-by-work or single-use basis and does not cover the entire repertoire of the collective management organization, otherwise known as the CMO. Nevada provides infrastructure for the library to make use of the transactional license by significantly reducing the administrative overheads, which just saves a lot of time and also reduces cost, as the transactional license is definitely the most cost-efficient option to execute. So here's a process overview of the steps that are followed within Nevada LMS and DALRO for copyright applications. So first, the applicant will apply for copyright by completing one of the forms. The copyright officer receives the application and does their preparations before sending it to DALRO. There's a script packaging applications in emails to send to DALRO, and another backend script that then processes the incoming emails from DALRO to distribute it back to the copyright officer. The copyright officer then links these quotations from DALRO of approval back to the applications, and the selector or the applicant will then receive that processed application of approval in an official document, and then they can proceed to make the reproduction of the work. So for your reference, there are 4 types of applications that can be completed for copyright within Nevada. There's one for books, journal, thesis, and media. Media can be things such as graphs, photos, or audio, etc. So let's quickly have a sneak peek into seeing what a book application form looks like in a live demo. Just a second, I'm again going to just switch my screen over here. There we go. Right, so heading back to my list. This is a place where I have titles that I am interested in as a selector. And now I can go further and choose a title. For instance, if I take this Life of Pi, and I can go and just click on the copyright button to see the copyright form pop up. So Life of Pi is a book. So I'm selecting my product type as book. So if you were to change to one of, a different form, then certain areas of this form would change according to that. So it is, it links to the sections. So to complete the form, you'd have to select the department, the particular module that you want to apply for. You'll put in the year, and then this on behalf of can be for a particular lecturer. If someone perhaps recommended you to make the application, then you can put in their name. Of course, your applicant name will be put down. The ISBN number of the title or the identifier of another type of resource will be in here. And then the title's the full name of the title. You'll have the author's name as well, and then the author of the particular chapter you can put in. Then you can see the publisher as well. And then you put in things like the title of the chapter, the page numbers of the chapter, total of pages of the chapter. All these figures are very important. We'll get to a section in my slides where we talk about the 10% rule within copyright, which is quite important to note. But there is here a field that I just want to point out to you all, where you have the ability to upload a motivational document. Again, this links to the 10% rule, which we will get to. And then, of course, having the total students that you are reproducing the work for, this is definitely crucial to put in. And then you can basically just submit your application. So again, this would go through to the copyright officer. They will prepare the application and then process it through to DOLRO. Okay, let me just come back to my slide. Here we go. So once the form is completed, the selector can also track their applications and view the statuses of how far everything is. So let me just see here. The Copyright Officer portal manages the incoming applications from the selector. They can approve, edit, or deny the request. If approved, the application is placed in a queue to be processed by DOLRO, and the backend script will then process the applications to DOLRO on a daily basis. So the flag will notify the Copyright Officer of duplicated request for the same material. The officer can also decide to place the application on hold, and the two arrows that you just see in the corner of the page are used to approve the request and send it to either the publisher, if applicable, or to DOLRO here in South Africa. Then within the DOLRO processing portal, the incoming emails from DOLRO are processed by stripping the copyright quotation of approval in a PDF attachment and filing it into a document list. The Copyright Officer will then review the quotation and link it to the original application. The applicant is then notified via NEVADA LMS that the application was approved, and they will then have all the relevant documentation available on the platform and can proceed to obviously reproduce the work. So here we have an example of the quotation that is received from DOLRO. This information is generally used for the purposes of the Copyright Officer. And then this is an example of the cover letter that is received from DOLRO. This information will be used for the purposes of the selector or the lecturer to have the go-ahead to go reproduce the work that they have applied for. Now, to understand some legal compliance through DOLRO for copyright, it is important to know the following. The 10% rule enforced by DOLRO allows selectors to generate applications for approximately 10% of the copyright protected work, such as a chapter, for instance. DOLRO will most likely grant the permission to the request in this case. However, if the request is for more than 10% of the work, then you would have to submit your motivational document through Nevada LMS to DALRO in the application form. Copyright protection is automatic, but DALRO oversees licensing processes so that we can ethically reproduce materials. It is important to remember that copyright infringement carries penalties, including fines and imprisonment. Therefore, we should respect the authors and contributors by supporting their materials through making copyright applications. In essence, the copyright module assures smooth management for applications within the workflow process, which directly interfaces and links with DALRO. You can be assured that materials are being reproduced in an ethical way that still supports the authors and the contributors. Throughout the entire process, you have Nevada LMS support specialists to assist you with your application process. And we offer significant cost-saving solution via the transactional license on DALRO for minimal administrative duties to be fulfilled just through Nevada. So it definitely helps. So you can benefit from knowledge and experience. Nevada offers comprehensive support for all libraries in South Africa, leveraging local expertise to navigate the dynamic library landscape. We feature with features like the audit trail reports and DALRO integrations, managing acquisitions and copyright compliance is seamless. Accessing data and generating reports is quick and easy, ensuring smooth operations. Our platform prioritizes ethical values, guaranteeing responsible applications to DALRO, and we offer a tailored experience on Nevada LMS 2.0 to accommodate your organization's unique structures and workflow, providing customized solutions for your needs. So now let's open the floor for any questions that you may have. Feel free to share thoughts, concerns, or experiences perhaps relating to the acquisitions processes or copyright applications. Do we have any questions? I'm quickly looking here in the chat.
Zama, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Lola. I just need to quickly ask, I didn't get the part where you spoke about the 10% and entering the chapter. So currently the system does not allow a user to input a full chapter, even if it is less, even if it is more than 10%. So is the new platform going to allow that, or it's still limiting the 10% part?
Hi, Zama. Thank you for your question, and it's wonderful to see you joining the webinar. Perhaps for your question, I believe that Leon, he is in this meeting. He can perhaps give you a better answer than I can. Leon,
Okay.
would you mind taking on Zama's question, please?
Zama, yeah, thank you for the question. I think what in the new system, what we will do, we will indicate that you exceeded 10%, and then we'll force you to upload the motivation. This is how it is currently developed. If you have other requirements regarding that rule, you must please inform us. Does that answer your question?
I think so. So are you saying if the full chapter is more than 10%, I can just put a motivation that this is one full chapter, not different sections, and then process it?
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zama. I see we have another question here in the chat. Someone asking, could we please clarify the role of the copyright officer? Leon, could you perhaps come back in for all the copyright questions? You are the expert.
Yeah, thank you, Lola. The copyright officer is the appointment at the university usually that manages the transactional license. Now, to manage the transactional license, there are a lot of overheads if you need to do it, a lot of paperwork. but as Lola said, the Nevada LMS make it easier. So what the copyright officer does, they receive all the applications coming from the lecturers or the administrators, and they decide whether they can forward it to DOLRO. So they're the gatekeeper for applications going to DOLRO. And when the quotations come back, their responsibility is actually to link the outgoing applications with the incoming quotations. And once they've done that link on the portal, the selector immediately receives a message that was approved, or that was approved by DOLRO, and then they can continue to do a reproduction of the work. Sometimes it goes directly to the selector, sometimes it's diverted to the printing office at the university. There they know this is the incoming application, it was approved by DOLRO, now they can print the works and continue.
Thank you, Leon. I see there's another, Zama has her hand up again. Go ahead, Zama.
Sorry. Leon, I've got another question. Currently on the system, when I cancel an application or delete or cancel, it allows me to put a note. But when I go onto the record, I cannot no longer see what was the reason of me canceling that application. And sometimes I do forget the reasons, as there are many applications. Is it possible for the system to now keep that note for me in that application somewhere?
Thank you for that, Zama. Lola, I think you can make a note of that. That's on the legacy system. But on the new system, as with acquisitions, as with copyright, as with prescribed module, all notifications, all notes are actually linked. And if you view a application, all the details, all the history, all the notes are actually linked to that application. So yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Zama. Leon, I see there's another question here in the chat from Teresa. She's asking, what are some of the motivations to exceed the required 10% limit to apply for DOLRO clearance?
Lola, that I can't answer you. I'm not the expert on the motivations. I suppose Zama might be able to answer it. I don't know.
Okay, I can try. So far on my experience, the only motivation would be if it's one full chapter, then the law does allow you to get permission to use that. I don't know any other motivation. Sometimes DARO does go back and ask the publisher or the author if you want to use more than 10%, if they would allow you at a certain fee, but that is also up to the author or the publisher. But so far, the only motivation I know is, should the chapter be more than 10%, then since I am allowed to either use the full chapter or 10% within the book, that would be reason enough. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that insight, Zama. Do we have any other questions? Thoughts or experiences that anyone wants to share? Simon, anything from your end? All right. Okay. Thank you for everyone's participation. I think, oh wait, I see Zama has a hand up. Yes, go ahead, Zama.
Sorry, Lola, sorry. Yeah, I just remembered something. So sometimes when my applicants, when they renew an application the following year, and they change the number of students, when they process it, it does not change the number of students. I've had instances whereby it now processes the same number of students as last year's application. I don't know if you've had a query like that on your side.
Lola, can I answer that question?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, Zama. We haven't received any complaints regarding that. I just want to make I just want to note that the legacy system has reached its end of life. So we put all our development and our new requirements and everything that's required in the new system into the new system, and that should be fixed in the new system.
I just made a note of it, just so that we double check that. But yes, we are putting all our efforts now in the Nevada 2.0, but we'll definitely make sure that that is looked after. Zama, thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. I don't think there's any more questions. If there is, please feel free to unmute yourself or pop it in the chat box. Otherwise, I just want to thank you all for your time today. It was really a pleasure presenting Nevada to you as always. And yes, if you would like more information about Nevada, you're welcome to put your email address in the chat, and my colleague will capture that so that we can make contact with you and assist you with whatever you'd like to find out more about. So yes, thank you for your time, and I'm just leaving here our contact us page. If you want to grab our details, please feel free to do so. Thanks.